But I want to remind us of the way the real of our biology, the real of our being, of of what comes up in us biologically and what comes up as drive in us. The real of this always reach out to a certain symbolic system. For example, I we talked about the pleasure principle, that you cannot just go and take something, especially when you are living in a society that is stealing. You have to go through the accepted process to do this. For example, you cannot just go and get a car. You have to earn the money first and buy it. If you do it otherwise, it's stealing. They might gift it to you as they might gift it to you, but in any sense, you have to pass through due process. There are some ways in which you cannot acquire a car, and when you do this, it becomes a crime. So the society has expectations of you, and so this desire to acquire something, to acquire property, to get food, to to do a lot of things, they are governed by rules, by the symbolic rule that do not allow us to do it otherwise. In fact, that trains us to renounce this our desire in order for us to be able to get it from an acceptable avenue. So I think Freud talked about this. I'm not sure if we talked about this already. Freud talked about the way the child is weighing out of the pleasure principle, a principle that allows the kid to always think about himself only, the immediate satisfaction of his needs and wants, and the immediate or the immediate desire for whatsoever he needs and the satisfaction of it. So it does not cause for compromise. But then gradually, it is weaned out of this. He becomes someone that actually puts a lot of things into consideration. First of all, he puts the reality principle into consideration by saying that, okay, if I eat this food now, I eat all of it, what will I eat tomorrow? What will I eat next tomorrow? So there is this reality principle, in the sense that if I also go and eat someone's food and they catch me, or I take someone's money and they catch me, they might actually lynch me and I will die. So there is this reality thinking that will start to come up um as a kid, as you are maturing, and then before you know it, you start to also think in the level of the moral principle. But in any sense, this particular winning is an inauguration, an introduction of the infant from its the immediacy of his biology to the organization, to the configuration of the social, of the collective. And the symbolic is able to do this by enticing the infant, by enticing the human subject with a lot of objects, with points of desire, points of identification that will aid the person moral as social acceptance and a lot of other goodies. We'll talk about this. We've talked a little about the ego idea and the idea ego. I want you to imagine a goat that they tie stick for one goat head, and the stick just long small from his head, so that the mouth no fit reach wetin dey the edge of the stick for e front, and wetin dey tie for the edge of the stick na corn. Imagine say the goat dey hungry and the goat wan eat this corn. As the goat dey waka dey go front, the corn still dey go front too. The goat just confused, because the more e dey try dey meet the corn, it's be like say the distance dey even dey go wider. So na dis kind thing na the symbolic dey do to us as human being. E go give us different things wey we go fit desire for our small time for dis world. E go give us things wey we fit say, okay, I wan dey acquire, I wan buy car, I wan build house, I wan get dis one, I wan get dis one. As you dey live your life like dis, sometimes you dey make other pipu life dey better. In fact, your one sef fit even be the corn sef, fit even be a sense of say you wan do good to other pipu sef, and you go dey work towards am. As you dey work towards am, before you know, you don old. Maybe pipu don dey remember you for wetin you do. You don dey get enjoyment, or rather satisfaction, from all those years wey you don deprive yourself of dat immediate gratification wey e dey very conversant with the infants. So now wetin the symbolic dey do with be this, and how e take dey make these things dey desirable, how e take dey make these things make e put for our front, make we dey always dey strive for, make we no go ever reach, because if you don be that thing, wetin you wan come be again? You come realize say you don useless for your life. So you go need to dey find something always make go dey make go be wetin you go dey drive towards, wetin you go come acquire. Even when you don reach wetin you first dey find, something that wetin you first dey find go transform into something else wey go make you dey always dey move forward like the goat. This one no be insult, e may still be like say na insult, but na the very perfect example for am. So I don make mention of the fact say this particular uh uh fiction wey the symbolic dey use take dey draw us to live our life, and in the same sense also dey draw us towards self-preservation, is towards survival, which is the sole aim of evolution. Passing one's gene from one, maybe not survival, but passing one's gene from one generation to another. So this is what we are talking about here. I will not talk about the super ego, because the super ego is another packed concept that I'm very excited about, and I don't want to hurriedly treat it and eventually we learn nothing from it. So I hope you understand the difference between the ideal ego, which is something you want to be, and the ego ID, which is something that gives relevance to what you want to be. It is from the eye of it is from this eye of this ego ID that the ID ego has relevance, has significance. It's raised to a point of esteem. Some people, they want to be a doctor. Deep down, deep down, they might not know it consciously, but deep down, why they do when they want to be a doctor? Because they want their parents to be proud of them, or they want their parents to have this feeling that they have a doctor as a son, as a doctor. So to a certain extent, the eye that makes this being a doctor very charged with emotion is from the eye of the parent. There might be a lot of factors that are involved in this. It might not be the parent, it might be someone else, it might be a lot of other things that pushes someone to actually pursue a particular passion, to actually pursue a particular field of being, a field of societal positions or identification, and be able to tell themselves that this thing that I'm doing has meaning. So I think this uh we've said enough about these two concepts, the ID ego and the ego ID. I hope you understand how they relate to the symbolic order. I hope you understand this. Remember, we talked about the symbolic order, but I will leave you with this dilemma. One time, for my streets where I dey stay for Benin that time, there's this girl. The girl don dey abroad now. She's shamelessly um, a hoe, in the sense that she be shameless ashawo. Let me say she dey do ashawo, maybe she dey do, I'm not sure, but she no dey shame for to talk about sexual things and her love for sex, and she loves it. So I'm not arguing for her or against her, but in any sense, what I'm bringing out is, so at the time she was still growing up. Then I was just passing and I heard her saying, probably she saw me and wanted to volume this up. I wanted to say it so that I will hear it. It was funny to her because she can't laugh, she can't do all this. She can't say, "Who teach Adam and Eve how to fuck, how to have sex? Who teach Adam and Eve?" This question dey loaded. You could think say na so it is dey simple. How did they know that this is what this is what they were supposed to do? You can say that God took the rib from Adam, and this rib is what causes a sort of attraction. That is a mist. The way they use mist, the way Jack Lacan use the mirror stage mist to explain the developmental mechanism when they happen for people. If it be true, if it not be true. Or some people go say, how goats take dey know say they supposed to do like this? How other animals supposed to know say they supposed have sex? For animal world, biology, we don't know say okay, a lot of things they pop am up. Sometimes they get pheromones when the male dey scent and the lady dey on heat, and the male still fit dey on heat, and then all these things dey try to assist the sexual process to bring forth offspring. Even with all these pheromones, even with all this heat that the particular organisms are involved in, even with this, they still have elaborate rituals. For example, the birds, they have a way of dancing before they, for example, some sort of blue bird that brings sticks to the female and they build a nest even before they start mating. There are a lot of elaborate rituals in, for example, I think the viper or the cobra, they measure themselves. The male has some sort of rituals, cultures that they have to go through in order to be able to have sex. They might just go at it and just do it. Why all these things? In the human world, you see, do you want to do you want to take get a bite, take you for dinner, take you for lunch, you go on a date, so on and so forth. There are always things that are propping sexuality up. This is why I ask the question: why? Who taught Adam and Eve how to have sex? Who taught them? You might say it is pheromones or different things, biological things that help them to do this. But how did Adam know where the sexual intercourse is done? This is not for children. I'll make it not for children. But in any sense, how did they know this? How? I want to leave this with you. You think about it, and you might tell me the answer in the comment section. Thank you. I have a particular means that might help us to make sense of it, which I don't want to share. It might be true, it might not be true. It's not even plausible though. But it is linking to the symbolic order, the ID ego, and the ego ID. Maybe in our next video, we'll talk about this.